someone has a legal duty to respond and they don't, then their silence amounts to admission. Should it alarm us that a man that refuses to conclusively establish his citizenship status will utter the oath of office on January 20th to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States while knowingly violating the very law established by that document? The factual evidence is clear and unambiguous. Mr. Obama is not a natural-born citizen. What are the effects of the Supreme Court's refusal to hear the petitions by attorneys D'Onofrio, Berg, and Tates for redress of Mr. Obama's violation of the Natural-Born Citizen Clause? Would not this violation of the Constitution amount to a modern-day capstone grievance of the people, capping all the other constitutional violations for which we have repeatedly sought redress? Given the consequences and evidence raised about Mr. Obama's citizenship status and Mr. Obama's refusal to dispute these claims, does the Supreme Court, and specifically the Chief Justice himself, dare officially bestow the vast powers of the President upon a man on January 20th if they too have failed to verify Mr. Obama's eligibility for the office? Would not the Supreme Court's refusal to take these cases mark the full abdication of its primary constitutional duty, forever stripping us, or forever stripping the Constitution of its remaining, and the Court of its remaining moral capital as the penultimate arbiter of the Constitution, in effect forcing the people to reclaim and exercise such a right for themselves? This nation is headed towards a vortex of a constitutional crisis. While on the one hand, the Obama citizenship issue is so simple, a school child could grasp it. If left festering and unanswered, it possesses the potential to propel our nation into a time of great peril. As we detailed in our open letter published in the Chicago Tribune, grave consequences may await our nation should a usurper, the formal name for someone who takes and brings power onto himself that he's not entitled to. If a usurper should obtain the powers of the presidency and is later exposed as such. These consequences include widespread political and legal chaos and potentially disturbances to the public tranquility. Although Mr. Obama has ignored our calls and petitions for redress, Mr. Obama remains obligated by law and moral duty to either produce evidence conclusively establishing his citizenship and his eligibility under the Constitution, or to withdraw himself from consideration for the presidency and allow the alternative procedures prescribed in the Constitution and its amendments to be initiated so the nation can orderly install its next president. It is for Mr. Obama to act honorably and relieve our nation of this escalating constitutional crisis. If neither Mr. Obama nor any of the three branches of the government will act to preserve, protect, and enhance our unalienable individual rights, freedoms, and liberties, the people must act as the final arbiters of the Constitution. We call upon all patriots, all right-thinking Americans who understand the way this system was designed to work and that the way it's working is not, or is in sharp contrast to the way it was designed to work. We call upon all of them, all the patriots in all 50 states, to choose 3 people to represent them at a month-long Congress at a location that we'll publicly announce next week. The mission of that People's Congress will be to discuss the problems of our broken republic and what can be done to restore it. The judiciary has failed to fulfill its prescribed constitutional function to interpret the Constitution and to preserve the rule of law. The burden must finally be borne by we the people, or we risk the demise of both our republic and our Constitution. In the end, this is about far more than a birth certificate or Mr. Obama's citizenship status. I'd like to invite to the podium now Phil Berg. Phil is a lifelong Democrat, a 20-year card-carrying member of the NAACP, former Assistant Attorney General of the state of Pennsylvania. Mr. Berg investigated this issue and established his version of the facts, presented those facts to a federal court in Pennsylvania. It was up to he's entitled, I might add as before he takes the podium, Mr. Berg or any attorney, any of us, we're entitled to our legal arguments, but we're not entitled to our version of the facts. It was up to Mr. Obama to refute those facts, to offer his own version, and then some neutral arbiter, the judge, another neutral arbiter, to look at all the facts and decide where the truth lay. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Phil Berg. Hi, Phil.
Pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
How are you? Pleasure. Good afternoon. Sorry I'm a little late. I was at the printer, and for all of you here, some additional documentation is being sent over. I have a 4-page, very detailed letter with all the exhibits, with many exhibits, which sets forth the fact that Barack Obama is really a phony. This is the largest hoax ever contemplated against the United States in over 200 years, and we're hopeful that some judge someplace will take heed and hear this case. I wish to, so those documents will be here shortly. In addition, I have copies here of a press release, which I'm putting out. The head note on the press release is, U.S. Supreme Court asked to issue an injunction. We're filing an application for an injunction today to the U.S. Supreme Court to stay the electoral votes on December 15, 2008, until Obama proves he is qualified to be president, as this is the largest hoax in 200 years. Obama knows he is not natural born, as he knows where he was born, and he knows he was adopted in Indonesia. Obama is an attorney, a Harvard Law grad, who taught constitutional law. Obama knows his candidacy is the largest hoax attempted on the citizens of the United States in over 200 years. Obama places our Constitution in a crisis situation, and Obama is in a situation where he can be blackmailed by leaders around the world who know he's not qualified. Hopefully, the Supreme Court will take our injunction. This is the document that is being filed today. It's an application to Justice David H. Souter for an immediate injunction prohibiting the certification of electors by the governors of each state to stay the Electoral College from casting any votes for Barack H. Obama on December 15, 2008, and the counting of any votes cast for Barack H. Obama by Vice President Richard B. Cheney, the House of Representatives, and the Senate on January 6, 2009, pending resolution of the petition for the writ of certiorari. Our case is still pending. We're waiting now for a conference. We're waiting for the court to take it. I heard unfortunate news that the Donofrio case wasn't taken today. Our case is distinguishable. I think our case, and I'll go through some of the facts right now, our case really sets forth the complete details why Obama is not qualified. What do we know about him? Nothing. Obama is the candidate of change. I guess so, because Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to run for president. What's he tell people? Amend the Constitution. And what's Barack Obama say? Nothing. I'll step on the Constitution, he's basically saying. As he did earlier this year when he stood there and wouldn't salute the flag and would not wear an American flag pin. And he and his wife want to change our national anthem because they want to make it softer for the Middle East. He doesn't like the words in there, bombs bursting in air and other things. This is the candidate of change. On issues, where is he? On his appointments, he's far-fetched from what he said. He's putting in old people, the same people. But to me, he's scary and frightening because he won't even admit where he's from. Significant is the date June 2008. That's 2 months before I got involved in this matter, and before many of us did, any of the attorneys did. Over a year before that, it had been circulating across the internet and around the world that Barack Obama was not a natural-born citizen. So in June 2008, on the Obama campaign website, what do they put? They put a document called a certification of live birth. And the certification of live birth states that Obama was born in Hawaii. That document is a forgery. It's a fraud, just like Obama is. He really is, ladies and gentlemen. And I know they're strong words. If any of you today, if I asked any of you to produce your birth certificate, you could give it to me today or tomorrow, and if you lost it, you can get a new one within 2 to 5 days by paying $5 to $20. Why hasn't Obama provided a birth certificate? The reason is because his birth certificate will indicate that he was born in Kenya. On our website, which is obamacrimes.com, we have the audio of a tape that was taken about 3 to 4 weeks ago, right after the last debate, by 2 ministers. One minister was present at her home, at the home of the paternal grandmother, Sarah Obama, in Kenya, and the other minister was here